Bibliophiles of the internet, my name's Adriana, and today I'm here to talk about 5 Hispanic or Latinx books that I would like to prioritize in the coming months. To give you a little background on this video, Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up September 15th to October 15th, and notoriously in the past, because I just suck at keeping track of things, I can never remember when it's coming up. So because our Heritage Month spills over into 2 months, and because the dates slightly differ from year to year, what ends up happening is I make reading plans for September and October, and it's not until halfway through the month that I realize it's the time of my people and I want to represent, but then I have books that I'm really excited for that I don't want to set aside. So then I only end up reading maybe 1 or 2 Hispanic books. Honestly, it's stupid because Hispanic Heritage Month means so much to me. I need to do better. I need to plan better. I need to stop making excuses. So you know what? 2017 Adriana is on it. In fact, several months ago, I made a list on my phone of just a ton of unread Hispanic or Latinx books I have on my shelves or on my devices, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna take it to the next level. I'm not just gonna read these things during Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm going to read pretty much nothing but Hispanic books in all of September and all of October, because I have that many choices. That's why today I'm giving you a small sample and sharing with you 5 Hispanic books I would like to read in the next couple of months. The very first book I thought of when making this list was Shadow Shaper by Daniel Jose Oder, which I bought a million years ago when it was a Kindle Daily deal for like less than $1. This is a YA urban fantasy inspired by Latinx and Caribbean legend. It's about a character named Sierra Santiago who discovers a secret supernatural order of people called Shadow Shapers who can connect with spirits via music, stories, paintings, and art. I believe she discovers her family is somehow connected to this order, which is actually under attack by an interloper, and it's up to Sierra to find a way to save her family's past, present, and future. This story ticks off a lot of boxes for me, and it just sounds really great. The next book I would like to read is When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore. I do own her first book, The Weight of Feathers, and I know her newest release, Wild Beauty, is going to be out soon, so I really could have chosen any one of them, but I'm gravitating towards When the Moon Was Ours because I know this story is explicitly queer because the 2 main characters are a couple and one of them is trans. From what I remember, this story is a mixture of magical realism and romance. It's about these 2 characters. One is a girl who has roses growing out of her wrists, and the other is a mysterious boy who paints moons and hangs them along the trees. Apparently there are these 4 sisters in town who are rumored to be witches, and they want the roses from Miel's wrists because they believe the scent of these roses will cause anyone to fall in love, and they will do anything to make sure she gives them up. I've heard so many fantastic things about this book, and I think I just intrinsically trust this author even though I've never read anything of hers because she's written so many great online pieces about the connection between Latin America and magical realism, how we use that to explore family, oppression, and pain, and you can tell she just gets it. Speaking of queer Latinx fiction, my next choice is The Gods of Tonga by Carolina de Robertes. This is more of a literary historical fiction type story, and the main character, Leda, arrives in Buenos Aires in 1913 with nothing but a suitcase and her father's violin, only to find out that the man she came to marry is dead. With no means of returning home and nowhere else to go, she finds herself on the street, and she is seduced by the world of the tango. She wants to play tango music, but to do so she must disguise herself as a man, and the longer that carries on, the more the lines between her identity and her disguise begin to blur. I'm really excited for this book because it's a cross-dressing story where the character actually gains a new understanding of their gender and their sexuality because of their disguise. I actually tend to avoid cross-dressing stories because they fail to acknowledge the existence of trans people, the existence of other genders, because they completely neglect to explore what it means to present as another gender and how that would impact a character's sense of self, which just makes no sense. But as I've said before, I first heard about this book when the author herself came to my university and she read from this story. She talked about her experiences, her identity, her inspiration, what she was hoping to accomplish with this book. So I know exactly what to expect, and I expect great things. My next choice is middle grade and also historical fiction, and that is The Red Umbrella by Cristina Diaz Gonzalez. This story is set in 1961 Cuba, 2 years after the Communist Revolution, and the main character Lucia lives a relatively peaceful life, but it's around this time that the effects of the revolution are finally taking shape and things are becoming much more oppressive and dangerous. In order to keep them safe, Lucia's parents decide to send her and her younger brother to the United States by themselves. I actually bought this book a few years ago and I've never read it because there's never really a reading mood where you want to confront this devastating of a story that's about loss of family, loss of identity, loss of home, but I'm gonna do it. I will. And the final book I want to mention in this video is one that's actually in the mail right now on its way to me, and that is also middle grade. It is The Epic Fail of Arturo Zamora by Pablo Cartaya. This story is about 13-year-old Arturo Zamora, who usually spends his summer washing dishes in his abuela's restaurant. But this summer there's been a sneaky, smarmy land developer lurking around who not only wants to shut down his abuela's restaurant, but who wants to make a lot of changes that will negatively impact Arturo's family and community. So the story is really about him discovering the power of poetry and protest. I mean, this book was practically written for me. It has everything I've ever wanted in a story, and Hispanic middle grade is my literal favorite thing on this planet. So I know I'm going to love this. So those are only 5 of the Hispanic or Latinx books I hope to read over the next couple of months. If you have any thoughts on any of the books I mentioned in this video, please feel free to share them in the comments below, or if you have any more recommendations for Own Voices Hispanic fiction, hit me up. Pero que es todo lo que tenía para este video de TBR hoy. Gracias para viendo este video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the flip side de la página. Adiós.